It's Friday. You know what that means. All right, so I got my Brody Lee shirt from AEW. This is 100% of the proceeds, of course, going to his family. So on February 7th, a week from this Sunday, we will see the final football game of the year, and they got there. And fingers crossed there won't be any kind of problems in between now and then, but so far, so good. 3:30 Pacific is the start time, which means the pre Super Bowl pregame will start at probably about 6 in the morning my time. This is about when they start. The pregame is usually around 12, 15 hours. It's insane. And then the game itself takes forever because they got the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm always impressed with the fact that players can have a good game considering all of the hype and the fact that the halftime's so long and everything. So Kansas City's favored by 3 points. I have to say, that's the Brady push right there. I really think that Kansas City could end up winning this and that a 3 point spread, I would take the Chiefs. It's Mahomes versus Brady, and there's a lot of people expecting Brady to win the Super Bowl. I expect him in it. I don't know that I expect him to win it. It is his 10th. We again will have the discussion about whether or not Brady is the best Super Bowl or best quarterback ever based on his Super Bowls. And yes, I do believe that Tom Brady is the best quarterback ever. I would put Montana at number two, and this is of quarterbacks I've seen. And number three, I kind of lean a little bit towards John Elway for the fact that they got slaughtered in Super Bowls and then he won them. So kudos to him for not getting discouraged and sticking with the Broncos, and eventually it worked out for them. But Mahomes versus Tom Brady is the big storyline. The Chiefs going for back to back Super Bowls, and I think they get it. I do, and then I think next year the conversation becomes one of so dynasty then, because if they win three in a row, they qualify as a dynasty. Now, one of the big talking points this week is that they'd love to see Tampa Bay wearing the creamsicle jerseys, the orange and white jerseys from the 80s. I always thought those were hideous. I've got to be honest, I always thought those were an eyesore. I was so glad when they changed them over to the pirate theme that they have now. Like, I don't know, the old Buccaneers logo was so weird. I know it's still Pirates themed, but it didn't work for me. So I always find it weird when they talk about the creamsicle jersey and Brady wearing a creamsicle colored T-shirt for a press conference because he'd like to see it as well. But the weird thing is that the NFL with the new helmet rules, you're only allowed to have one helmet per player all season. So they can't wear the creamsicle jerseys because they can't wear the helmet that matches it. So they haven't worn those jerseys since 2012. The NFL may change that regulation next season. I don't know if they will or they won't. I don't know how much support there is for it, but it's weird because they say that basically the helmets they have now, which are a lot safer, they are conformed to the head of the man wearing them. So yours is yours. That's it. There's not just some, you can't just go to the store and grab whatever and get it painted up. Yours is yours, and that's it. You get one for the season. So if they allow a second one to come in, it may not be as safe. It may not be conformed. Then conform too. I don't know. It's weird to me. So we'll see if that changes, but it's not going to change before the Super Bowl. But again, that's the big talking point with Tampa. And there's a $2.3 million bet, according to BetMGM, on Tampa Bay. And if he wins, he makes $2 million on that bet. If he doesn't, he's out $2.3 million. That's an insane amount of money on a football game. Especially when I really do think Kansas City probably wins it. Am I betting on it? No, I don't bet on football. The one thing I find interesting too is the over under on this game, which is currently listed at 56.5 points, and this is going to change in between now and game time. I think that 3 point spread is going to go up a little bit too. I'd be surprised if it's not 3.5, at least 3.5 going into the game, just to make it a little more interesting. But the over under at 56.5, that really could go either way. I could see us having a Super Bowl where it's 31-28, 40-34, some insanely high score. But with the way both defenses play, it could just as easily be a 20-12 game or 20-15 game. So that over under, you can figure out how this is going to go through all the numbers and say, okay, Tampa Bay's defense is going to be able to do it again. I'm going to take the under, or Brady and Mahomes are going to both pass for about 400 yards, so I'm going to take the over. Uh, yeah, it should be a fascinating Super Bowl. And of course, this week as well, with the teams that aren't in the Super Bowl, it came out that Ben Roethlisberger's willing to take whatever money it takes to come back for Pittsburgh, which I get the feeling the Steelers kind of want to move on and get a different quarterback. And he's kind of like, I'll play for free. We don't want to tell Ben. We don't want to tell him. We don't. We're going to have to tell him. But Mahomes and Brady, currently the two marquee quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'd be interested to know who you think's going to win, and most importantly, why. So, is it a matter of just the quarterback, that star power? Does Tampa Bay have the receivers, the running game, and the defense to overcome a very impressive Kansas City team? And if Tampa Bay loses, do they just say, you know what, it's because we don't have the creamsicle jersey? The other weird thing is Tampa Bay was miserably bad for a lot of the time they had those jerseys. I remember some really bad teams in Tampa wearing those jerseys. So I understand, people looking back and having these fond memories of the jerseys themselves. I don't have that many fond memories of the team that wore them. And hey, that's the memory for me. But then again, I'm really old, so take it all with a grain of salt. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. It's been fun covering football for another year. I do anticipate being able to cover it, especially early in the season next year, and then it will be a bit more of a challenge for me as the season goes along, because hockey will likely be very busy again, probably in early to mid-October, and that, of course, is when football's really getting themselves going. But it was fun to cover it this year. Again, I do think Kansas City probably wins this, but Brady being in his 10th Super Bowl is kind of a big deal. But Mahomes getting a win over Brady would also be a big deal. And then Mahomes starts getting into that conversation when we talk about, so where does Mahomes rank already at this young age versus some of the best quarterbacks we've seen? And where does that trajectory take him? How many championships can the Chiefs get is another question. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, don't forget to pick up some GameStop stock while you're at it, because they're allowing it again. And yeah, I will probably be doing another video about that because it's fascinating. It's fascinating. But thank you guys so much for all your support along the way and for helping this channel pass 16,000 subscribers. It's a nice, tidy number. I'm very proud of that. Thank you guys so much for that. It's all humbling, and I will talk to you again soon.